play DVDs in the front screen. That's
Cougar, you hear that?
Sounds powerful, right? It's not. It doesn't make a lot of power, but oh yeah, still snowing pretty good. I didn't plan on doing any kind of walk around videos today. I'm wearing my sneakers. Should have put on my boots. I wanted to talk about this old Lexus, this old Toyota 2008 GX470. It's got about 164,000 miles. I'll check in a minute as soon as I get back in, but I've had it about 2 years. Put about 20,000 miles on it, and I haven't had any issues with it. When I first bought it, the airbags were leaking. I replaced those with the cheapest coil conversion I could find on Amazon. Stupid geese distracted me. But yeah, I replaced the airbags with some coils and haven't had any problems since. 20-year-old vehicle, V8, body on frame, full-time, four-wheel drive. You can't beat this, man. For the price versus a new car, if you're looking for a cheap used car that can pretty much do anything, go anywhere, it's gonna cost you on gas. Man, it's hard to beat this. See that hole in my hubcap? That's what I get for going to Walmart for some tires. I just bought these because they were cheap and they're snow rated. Look at the lugs on these things. They do really good in the snow. When I was a teenager, actually, these things were popular, and I always wanted one. I thought they were so cool. Everybody else was into the Escalades and the LS, the GS. But I like the SUVs. I've always liked the SUVs. This and the FX35 were the cars that I really thought were cool, or the SUVs I thought were cool when I was a teenager. And now I have one. The only thing I wish this truck had is a Bluetooth for my radio, for audio. I can connect my phone, I can make calls, I can take calls, but I can't connect my music. So that kind of sucks. But I've got a 6-disc CG changer that also plays DVDs. On the front, I can play DVDs in the front screen. That's
Cougar, you hear that? Roger.
I don't know if new cars do that. I haven't had a new car in a long time. It's just a cool SUV. I'll be honest, I love it. It's rugged. It's rugged on the outside, soft on the inside. Speaking of soft on the inside, let's check it out. Ooh, look at that, it's all dirty. A daily driver. What do you think? Not too bad, right? Got a little wear and tear here. Buttons are kind of wearing. Of course, got the comfort rip in the seat. Big wide leather seats. They're really comfortable, and they're heated. I'm gonna get back in the truck. Let's go for a little ride. Get out of this parking lot and let you hear this thing. All right, so I'm back in the truck. Man, it is nice and cozy in here. One thing I love, I should say the thing I really love about these old luxury cars is it brings back so many memories, so many feelings from when I was a kid, right? Like being in an office. My parents were buying a car, or going to the bank, or my friends, grandparents, grandfathers study. Do you remember that when older men used to have an office or a study? Now they got man caves or a garage, but I got a garage. Yeah, getting in here, that's what it reminds me of. This wood grain, fake wood grain, the leather, the smell in here. If you could smell the interior of this car, and a lot of you can imagine, you probably know what I'm talking about. But the smell of the old leather and the old materials, it's nostalgia. It's nostalgia. I do love it. It's quiet in here. I got the muffler and resonator delete, but still very quiet. Sounds powerful, right? It's not. It doesn't make a lot of power, but Sounds good. My mirror's icing. Let's, boom. All right, let's go. Oh yeah, the roads are just plowed, so nice and slick. I'll be honest, I hate it when they plow the roads. It really doesn't help. I'd rather just drive in deep snow. Look at it, stop snowing. Nice. Check out this cemetery. What do you think? I love this cemetery. I moved here from Arizona and we don't have cemeteries like this. The cemeteries out west, yeah, they're pretty boring. Not like this. Sounds good, right? Oh, look at these roads. I think my alignment's off a little bit. Probably the air pressure. I know the light's on, obviously I've got low air pressure, but if you drive in cold weather, you know this light comes on as soon as the temperature drops. So I check the air pressure about every other week. So probably need to do that again. It's so quiet in here. Listen to that. If you've ever driven on frozen roads like this, you know it's very rough. It shakes and vibrates your car quite a bit. And it's quiet in here. Look at that frozen lake. Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. These roads are terrible. Michigan. They got all this money from their weed taxes. She said she was gonna fix the damn roads, but I don't know. From what I can tell, from what I've heard, not much has improved since legalization as far as roads and schools, and they just raised the taxes even more. I do love Michigan, certain things about Michigan. I love the beaches, I love the summers, I love the fall, but the politics and stuff here suck, and the way people understand politics is kind of ridiculous. That little house in the woods, I would like that. The only thing I'd be worried about is the trees. In the summer we get those strong storms, tornado warnings, wind starts blowing. I wouldn't want to be surrounded by that many trees. I need a little bit of a bumper space. You know what I mean? I don't know why, but I feel like I drive weird when I'm recording. Feels like my hands aren't doing what they normally do, but I'm still adjusting that. Doing things with the camera, recording. especially talking. It feels a bit awkward to me, to be honest. I'm a pretty talkative person. I like socializing with people, but trying to talk to a camera and tell myself that it's people on the other end is still new to me. Still a little awkward. Good thing I don't have any viewers or subscribers. I got a few subscribers. Thank you. If you've even watched this far, I appreciate it. Check out this FJ. Hell yeah, brother. Looks like he's going camping. I need to get out and go camping in this snow. I need to get a hot tent. I could just use my wife's Pilot. I could lay all the seats flat in that thing and sleep in there. I've already tried it. That's what kind of sucks about these vehicles. The Lexus GX, the LX, the Nissan Armada. Very capable, big SUVs. But you can't lay it down in the back if you needed to. That kind of sucks. When we got my wife's Pilot, I didn't know how practical they were. I mean, I should have expected it. It's Honda. That's what they do, right? Practical, aka boring. But I think it's cool that Pilot's got cubbies everywhere. You know, like 2 big pockets on the door. It's got a huge center console, cubbies in the middle, and the passenger area under the airbag above the glove box. Cubbies all in the back. Yeah, the seats all fold flat. It's a little bit of an incline from the rear of the vehicle to the middle, so you'd be kind of tilted a little bit if you lay back there, but not that big of a deal. I think if you use like a Japanese floor mattress, not an air mattress, those things suck, they always deflate, but like a Japanese floor mattress, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but you can look it up, they're pretty cool. Oh yeah, the rumble strip. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Japanese floor mattress. Throw one of those in the back of the Pilot, some blankets, a couple snacks, and dude, go camping. I don't think most people would consider the Honda Pilot as an overland vehicle necessarily, but I think it would be a great overland vehicle. We're averaging about 22 miles per gallon on the highway, which is most of our driving is back roads, so we get pretty good mileage. But yeah, 21 miles per gallon for the most part. The 4-wheel drive system in that Honda Pilot is excellent on these kind of roads. It has so much traction, so much grip, even with some cheap road tires. It does really good. It does really well. We're never stuck. We haven't got stuck yet. My wife hasn't slid out and lost control. And according to her, she feels super confident driving that thing around. Let's go straight here. Oh, dude, am I getting behind the salt truck? I think so. Where is he going? When I first moved out here, I hated this. I hated this crap. When I look out, see nothing but white and gray. That's what it looks like. It's kind of gloomy. But I kind of like it now. It's weird. I'm not gonna stay behind this guy. Should I make a turn here? Yeah. This is a really rough road. This is all frozen. It may not look like it. That might look like snow, like soft snow. And it is snow. It was snow, but it's all frozen over on the roads. But I mean, the Lexus just kind of soaks it up, huh? Not too bad. You can hear some shaking, but nothing's really rattling apart. I mean, check it out. Look at that. Doesn't that look cool? The Lexus snowmobile. Check out the snow coming off the tires. I don't know if you can see that. That's dope, right? Look at that. Traction control is nuts. It does work. It works good. It just kind of snaps you back in line. I think if I lock in the center differential, I think it'll turn that off. I think I've read that somewhere. But what do you guys think? What do you think about the old Lexus? Think this is a good car? I think it's a great car. It's not for everybody. You know, you don't have to buy a car out of practicality. You don't have to buy a car just for a specific purpose or reason. It doesn't have to be the most practical financial decision you've ever made. It doesn't have to be. Buy what you want. Buy what you like. This car is very practical and capable, and it's a good all-arounder. But it's what I wanted. This is the car that I wanted. That's why I got it. If the car that you want is, you know, has a reputation for being unreliable and problematic, but you still want that car, then you know what? You should get that car. You should get that car. That's the only way for you to learn and get it out of your system, is to learn the hard way. For some of us, anyway. And you might be one of those people that you got to learn the hard way. So buy the car, enjoy it, and you know what? You might find out that you like working on cars. You might enjoy it. You might find a new passion. And if you don't, then you'll realize you'll never want to buy an unreliable car again. For me, that was my experience. I bought a few cars that I thought I really wanted, but after owning them and dealing with all their issues and their problems, I decided never again. I'm not even interested in a car unless it has a reliability factor. If it doesn't have a reputation for, you know, reasonable reliability, I'm not even gonna bother with it. I don't care how cool it is. That's just me. I'm too old to deal with those kind of headaches. I'm 40 years old. I've had cars that brought me nothing but problems. I'm not gonna deal with it anymore. But you know what? Also, to add to that, if you already have a reliable car, if you already have a daily driver that you can depend on, you know, any kind of Toyota or typically reliable vehicle, and you want to buy another car, get whatever you want, dude. Get whatever car you want. If you want to buy the most unreliable BMW out there, do it. If that's what you want, you have the money for it. You already have a car you can rely on, you can already depend on. And you want to buy another car, you're just an enthusiast or a collector, you want to start building your collection, buy whatever you want, dude. But for like the average guy, the average dude who doesn't have the space for multiple cars or the finances for multiple cars, you got to think about these things. You got to think about how you're going to get to work, how you're going to get your kids to the doctor's appointments, get yourself to doctor's appointments, and wherever else you got to go. You can't waste your time with a car that's going to be in the shop, be at the dealership for multiple repairs and recalls. You don't want to deal with that. And it's sad that a lot of people they assume that, well, if I buy a new car, I'm not going to have these issues. And you shouldn't have those issues with a new car. But unfortunately, right now, a lot of people are having those issues with new cars. So it doesn't really make sense to go and buy the new car. You can tell yourself, well, I have warranty and all these other things, so I'm safe. That's not true. You still have to bring your car to the dealership and be without the car, possibly get a loaner. It's just a lot of headaches. Knowing that you're making payments on a car that you don't even have in your possession, it's in the shop, that's frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating. And I understand a lot of people don't really know a lot about cars. They don't really know all the different vehicles that are out there. And it doesn't have to be a Lexus or a Toyota product. There's a lot of other cars from different brands that are reliable, that are good cars. In fact, I would say most manufacturers have at least one model or a few models that have a good reputation for reliability. So get you the reliable car, the car you can count on, the one that's been maintained well, the one that's not going to cost you a fortune. Get that paid off, maintain it, take care of it, and then start getting the cars that you want. You can afford for them to break down and be out of service for a little bit, because you already have your other car. You already have your backup, your primary car that does everything at a cheap price. Before I bought this, we had other cars, family vehicles, but as a second vehicle, as our family backup vehicle, we had a Suzuki XL7. And that little truck was so incredibly reliable and solid. We still have it. The battery's dead because it's been sitting so long, but that truck, honestly, it sounds like an exaggeration, but that little truck was super impressive. I don't know how they designed it to where you could fit 6 full-grown adults in that truck and not be cramped. The third row in that little Suzuki was far better than the third row that came in this Lexus, and a lot of other bigger SUVs. I was looking at an Armada before I bought this, and the third row is terrible. As big as that SUV is, the third row was pretty much useless. So it's just kind of unbelievable when you get in that little Suzuki and you're like, wow, I'm 5'9", 210 pounds, and I've sat in the third row of that Suzuki without my legs crunched up to my chest. My knees were almost touching the back of the second row, but I wasn't squished. I don't know how they did it. And that little V6 that's in that Suzuki it feels more potent than a lot of the newer, smaller SUVs. And it feels, honestly, it's a similar driving experience to this Lexus. I kid you not. Yes, that little Suzuki is like a small version of this Lexus. It's not as quiet on the inside. It's not as well insulated. It's a little bit noisier. You can hear the road and the wind. But it also doesn't squeak or rattle. It feels very well built. It also has a pretty great four-wheel drive system. I never got stuck in that truck in the snow. Before I did the muffler delete, this car would put you to sleep driving it, I swear. Anytime my wife or my kids would get in here with me, for longer than 10 minutes, 15 minutes, when we would get to our destination, they wouldn't want to get out. They'd sit in the car and look at me like, I just want to stay in the Lexus. It's a very cozy place to be in, especially in the wintertime. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you. If you stayed this long, if you could, please go ahead and subscribe. I hope you have a good day.